Alright, what's going on, guys? Hope you're all having a good day so far. So, in every season in Cold War, we get another set of Zombies challenges, and this one's no different. Today, we have every Season 4 Zombies challenge and how to complete all of them. So, we're gonna go down the list, talk about every single challenge, how you can complete them quickly and efficiently, and obtain that really drippy Season 4 calling card. Now, I might also add that most of these challenges in Season 4 are far less tedious than a lot of the ones from Season 3, and I think you guys aren't gonna have too much trouble completing these to begin with, but we're gonna make this so much smoother. But with that said, if you guys do enjoy the video today, then all I ask in return is a thumbs up. That would be very greatly appreciated. And if you are new to the channel and you enjoy zombies, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to 500,000 subscribers, and I'd love to have each and every single one of you as part of this community. But that said, we're going to keep this short, concise, and to the point, and I hope this video does help. So anyways, let's get into it. So the first challenge we have is called Drop the Hammer. In Outbreak, you need to get 25 eliminations shortly after landing from a parachute. This is a kind of a weird one, but pretty straightforward. You can either use a jump pad or just a cliffside to get a significant amount of air and maybe have a horde of zombies underneath you so that when you actually hit the ground, you can kill most of them. And 25 isn't that much, actually. You can maybe get this done in 1 to 2 attempts. So that's how you do it. It should be pretty easy. Next up, we've got a challenge called Weed Killer. And for this one, you need to earn 10 overgrowth medals, which is killing 5 or more enemies rapidly with toxic growth. And the best way to do this, if you guys are on PlayStation, play Onslaught and you'll get it in an instant. If you're not on PlayStation, however, I recommend doing this in a round-based map such as like D Machine or Firebase C. Have a good camping spot to hold out in. Just get a horde and start laying down these traps. It helps if your toxic growth is fully upgraded as you get multiple charges. This one though is pretty straightforward and easy. You only need to kill 5. Up next, we have a challenge called Vehicular Assistance, and for this you need to earn 25 gunner medals, which is killing 3 or more enemies rapidly using a vehicle's weapon. Of course, it goes without saying this can only be done in Outbreak with certain vehicles that have guns on it, and I'm also going to strongly advise that you keep it on the lowest round possible. I've noticed in Outbreak, once you get past like round 4 or 5, maybe up to 6, the vehicle's weapon starts to be kind of bad, to be honest. So you can either do this on a really low round and just farm enemies that way, or you can try it while it's on an insta-kill if you do happen to be on a higher round. But you got to earn 25 of these medals, so it's going to take you a little bit to get, but just so long as you're just gunning down enemies with these vehicles, it shouldn't be a problem. After that is a challenge called Harvest Time, and in Outbreak you need to collect 5 rewards from the rockets in the secure objective. So this is the one where the 2 rockets land and they're essentially soul boxes. Basically, you just need to collect the bonus that comes out when the rocket is at maximum capacity, and this means you need to get the challenge 3 separate times to obtain all the rewards. After that, we've got a challenge called Infradead, and you need to get 500 eliminations while aiming down the sights with a thermal scope attachment. So I recommend putting it on like your favorite loadout weapon. Obviously, if it's compatible, you can get thermal scopes out of mystery box weapons, although it's pretty rare. You can just re-roll attachments to maybe get one, but either way, I recommend running your favorite gun to get this. It's pretty straightforward. I don't need to tell you guys how to do it. After that, however, there's a challenge called Lookout Below, and in Outbreak, you need to kill an Orda with a melee finisher. So I feel like the best way you can go about doing this is just shoot the Orda until it gets to like, you know, a sliver of HP, use Frenzied Guard, and then just go in for the melee. You can use one of the ones that you can apply, like the E-tool or something on your loadout, but you don't have to take it down fully, obviously using melee weapons, just finishing off its HP with some kind of melee attack. Up next, we have a challenge called Out of Body Experience, and for this, you need to use a chopper gunner or a cruise missile support with 5 or more enemies in close proximity. So you guys know in Cold War Zombies, if you call out one of these kill streaks, that all of the zombies around you will kind of freeze and will make you invincible for a short period of time. So you just need to do this while you're getting swarmed. It sounds like you only need to do it once. This is going to be best done in round-based maps, in my opinion, and might be one of the easiest challenges of this entire list. After that, we have a challenge called Gone Fishing, and in Outbreak, you need to collect 25 items from fishing. So if you've never used that mechanic in Outbreak, you can just go where water exists in any of the maps in Outbreak, and there's zombies with fishing poles lined up against it, and you can fish 3 times per body on that, and you will get an item each and every single time you do it. So you just need to collect a total of 25 to complete this one. After that, we have a challenge called Blinded by the Light, and for this, you need to kill 25 enemies stunned by Healing Aura. So Healing Aura usually won't kill the enemies around you, but you can use it to sort of stun lock them, and I think the best way to do this is just wait to get an entire horde. You can get this done in maybe 1 to 2 specialists. Probably going to be significantly easier in round-based maps or even Onslaught, but is doable really in any mode. It's important to kill them while they are stunned. It only lasts for a little bit, so you got to take advantage while you can. Moving on, we have a challenge called Hipster, and for this you need to earn 500 critical kills without aiming down sights. This, in essence, is just 500 headshots without ADSing. Best way to go about this is just play a round-based map or onslaught and use a weapon with really good hip fire. You can use an AR or an SMG, even a tac rifle, doesn't really matter. Just something that's pretty consistent at getting headshots from the hip should get you this challenge no problem. Next up, we have a challenge called On a Budget, and you need to kill 100 enemies distracted by a decoy tactical equipment using a frag grenade or semtex. So this one's pretty interesting. Basically, you need to distract enemies using a decoy first and foremost, and then you need to finish them off while they're distracted using a lethal, frag or semtex. I'm going to say this is going to be way easier with a semtex. They explode much faster, so the time window that you have of the distraction to the explosion is a lot shorter. So this one's really just about having the equipment on hand. I feel like it's going to be best done in round-based modes because you only need to get 100 kills, so it should only take you a couple attempts. Next up is a challenge called Pit Stop, and you need to earn 100 Freelancer medals, which is killing 3 or more enemies rapidly with an equipped weapon on a vehicle. So the tricky part is you need to get 100 of these medals, so that, that's at least 300 kills. You can do this in really one world of Outbreak. You can just farm that if you really wish to, but I think that if you just play enough Outbreak and you use vehicles quite often, you're going to come across this challenge no matter what, but you can definitely speed up the process. Next up, we have a challenge called Root Canal, and in Outbreak specifically, you need to complete 5 Fury Crystal World events. So when you're playing Outbreak, obviously these are marked by the crystal orange icon. Now, you're not going to get one, spawned on every single map you warp into. It is somewhat random when they do spawn in, but if you play enough Outbreak, you'll come across 5. Honestly, it should only take you about 2 to 3 games if you're playing to like maybe only round 5 or so. You need to shoot all the Fury Crystals in a small, concise location. It's pretty easy to do once you get the hang of it, but it can be tricky your first few times around, especially when you don't know the spawns, but you'll get the hang of it. After that is a challenge called Growth Spurt, and for this you need to upgrade a base weapon to Pack-a-Punch level 3 in one purchase menu session. So the easiest way to do this is have one of your guns Pack-a-Punched and just use that to go through the rounds and to gather 50,000 total points, and then your secondary weapon, just make something, completely base weapon, maybe get it off the wall or whatever, just something unpack-a-punched, and once you have a grand total of 50,000 points, you can go to the Pack-a-Punch machine and just upgrade it all the way through. That should complete the challenge with no issue at all. Next up, we have a challenge called A Good Compromise, and for this, you just need to get 500 eliminations with tac rifles. That's it. Nothing too particular. You don't need to get headshots, just 500 kills with tactical rifles. Next up, we have a challenge called He Had to Split, and for this, you need to kill 10 specials or elites using the Tomahawk lethal equipment. In my opinion, the best way to do this will be in Onslaught if you are a PlayStation player once again. If not, do this in Firebase Z, as mimics are going to count towards this challenge, and the spawn rate, as far as like comparing them to megatons, are a lot more frequent, so you can probably get this done in a single game. Next up, we've got a challenge called Like Butter, and for this, you need to kill 100 enemies with their elemental damage weakness. So I'll go ahead and explain this really quick how this works. There are different enemy types that are weak to certain elements in the game. So for example, Plague Hounds are weak to Napalm Burst, Hellhounds are weak to Cryo Freeze, Megatons are weak to Dead Wire, and Panzers and Manglers, I believe, are weak to Shatter Blast. What you're looking for in this challenge is to get a lot of dog spawns, whether they be Plague Hounds or Hellhounds, because, they're pretty easy to take out and you get them fairly frequently. Once again, Onslaught high rounds are going to be the best for this because you get a ridiculous amount of Plague Hound spawns, but if not, you can play a round-based map and get it done no problem. Next up is a challenge called To the Bitter End, and you need to earn 5 loot pinata medals, which is destroying the blue ether orb in Outbreak. So it will be marked on your map once you're close enough to it on your mini map, but not on like the big full map. When you stumble across one of these in game, they will make noise, you'll hear laughter coming from it, and you shoot them to acquire points, and then it will move after you've done enough damage to it. You just need to follow it around to all of its locations, and then once it fully destroys, you'll get one of these medals. As far as locations go for these orbs, if you're having trouble finding them, I'm gonna have a link in the description that should help you out a little bit, but honestly, they're not too hard to find if you're just playing the game generally. After that, we have another challenge called Staycation, and for this one, you need to do this in specifically a round-based map. You got to reach round 20 without leaving the starting area, so basically just a starting room challenge. I'm pretty sure you have access to anything within that starting room, such as like the crafting table and whatnot, but I'm also almost certain this was a Dark Ops challenge, but I don't quite remember the specifics on that. I recommend using either the Gallo or the Hauer shotgun as your loadout weapon, as they still maintain their damage even up to round 20, so they don't really fall off too dramatically, and then of course you can use the crafting table for extra support, but this challenge is pretty easy to do. Moving on after that is a challenge called My Way, and for this you need to get 1,000 kills, 1,000 eliminations with a found legendary rarity weapon that you've applied a blueprint to. So it's pretty specific as far as what it's asking you for. You need to come across a weapon in-game, whether it's through Outbreak or in a round-based map out of the box or something, but it's got to be legendary tier already. You got to pick it up and then apply a blueprint to it. I don't know if the custom mods work, because you can make basically your own version of that weapon. I hope those work, but if not, just use a regular pre-made blueprint. But you do need to get 1,000 kills, which is quite hefty. It should take you maybe 1 to 2 games if you're being ultra efficient with it, but it is also literally the final challenge on this list. So once you've completed all of them, then you'll have the Season 4 Zombie Master Challenge, and you'll be rewarded with this calling card on screen, which is actually pretty cool, and you have completed all of them if you've made it up to this point. But anyways, that's all the challenges for Season 4 in Cold War Zombies. If you guys did enjoy, if those did help out at all, then make sure to give the video a thumbs up. That would be amazing. And remember to subscribe if you're new to the channel before you go. I do stream zombies quite frequently over on Twitch, so if you'd like to come catch me live and hang out, you can do that. Links in the description below. I would love to see you there. But anyways, have a great rest of your day, everyone. I gotta go. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.